What is a suitable non-destructive testing method for detecting surfactant cracks on aluminum castings and forging? Dye penetrant inspection. List the steps in a dye penetrant inspection. Clean, apply penetrant, remove penetrant, dry, apply developer, inspect. Clean. Apply penetrant. Remove penetrant. Dry. Apply developer. Inspect. Clean, apply penetrant, remove penetrant, dry, apply developer, inspect. What are two types of self-locking nuts? Fiber lock or elastic stop? Elastic self-locking nuts. What is the general rule for using self-locking nuts? Do not use in joints subject to rotation. What type of cable is used in primary control systems? Extra flexible 7x19 cable. How can the correct grip length of a bolt be determined? Equal the total thickness of material being joined. Unthreaded portion of the bolt shank. Describe the procedure for performing a magnetic particle inspection. Clean, magnetize the part, apply the ferromagnetic particles. If a discontinuity is present, magnetized particles will form a pattern. Clean. Magnetize the part. Apply the ferromagnetic particles. If a discontinuity is present, magnetized particles will form a pattern. Clean, magnetize the part, apply the ferromagnetic particles. If a discontinuity is present, magnetized particles will form a pattern. The length of a N and standard bolt are measured in what fraction? Eighth of an inch. What does the triangle mean on the head of a steel bolt? Close tolerance bolt. What numbers are used for close tolerance bolts? AN 173 through AN 186 for hex head bolts and NAS 80 through NAS 86 for countersink. What is the difference between a standard bolt and a close tolerance bolt? Close tolerance, machined to more precise dimensions. A solid rivet diameter is always measured in war fraction. 32. Describe a rivnet. Threaded body that is expanded to the aircraft structure. What is the purpose of a channel nut and nut plate? Both nuts allow a screw or bolt to be inserted without needing to hold the nut with a wrench. What are common materials for cotter pins to be made from? Low carbon steel and stainless steel. What is the smallest cable that can be used in primary control systems? An 1/8 inch in diameter. What type of cable is used in primary control systems? Extra flexible 7x19 cable. What should be the depth of penetration when making a fillet weld? 25 to 50% of the thickness of the base material. What term describes a metal that is based on iron? Ferrous alloy. What precision measuring instruments are used to measure outside diameter? Outside micrometer, vernier calipers. What should be the width of the weld bead and depth of penetration when making a butt weld? Three to 5 times the thickness of the base metal for the bead width and 100% penetration. What system is used to identify a N-type aircraft? Bolts? Bolts have code markings on the bolt head for identification. What is the difference between a close tolerance and regular AN bolt? Close tolerance bolt are machined to more precise standards and must be driven in by a hammer. What are the steps for solution heat treating aluminum alloys? Heated, heat-soaked, then rapidly quenched to a relatively low temperature. In what state is aluminum alloy immediately after solution, heat treating and quenching? Comparatively soft state. What is done to prevent certain aluminum alloy rivets, DNDD, from becoming hard after heat treating and quenching? stored in a refrigerator called icebox rivets. What do rivet head markings indicate? The alloy of the rivet. The length of a N. Standard bolts are measured in what fraction? An eighth of an inch. Why is alloy styrol that is responsive to heat treatment usually less suitable for welding? Because of its tendency to become brittle and lose its ductility around the weld. Why should steel be normalized after welding or machining? To remove internal stress of the metal. What are two methods of case hardening? Carburizing and nitriding. What are the characteristics of a cold weld? Improper penetration, appears rough and irregular, edges are not feathered into the metal base. What tools are used to measure the outside diameter of shaft, thickness of sheet metal stock, diameter of drills, and for many other similar applications? Outside micrometer or caliper. What should be used to make a visual inspection of a weld? A magnifying glass of at least 10x. Name some types of non-destructive testing used on non-ferrous materials. Eddy current, dye-penetrant, X-ray, coin tap, visual inspection. What is the most common type of corrosion? Surface corrosion. What does a quarter-20 bolt mean? Bolt diameter and thread count. Why should a micrometer be periodically calibrated? Accuracy. A solid rivet length is measured in what fractional increments? 16th. A solid rivet diameter is always measured in what fraction? 32. The length of a N. Standard bolts are measured in what fraction? 1/8. What are some types of washers used on aircraft? Spring lock washers, flat washers, lock tooth washers, tab washers, finishing washers. What term describes a metal that is based on iron? Ferrous alloy. What are two methods of case hardening? Carburizing and nitriding. What is an MSDS? Material Safety Data Sheet.